when it made 8 figures, so I throw my middle finger up when I take pictures. No insurance, I'm covered. Granny made me say scriptures. Don't need an easel, I paint pictures. My art is too flame. If you ain't go through the pain, it's gonna be harder to gain. It's kinda hard to explain.
Really be on the house calls anyway, huh?
Yeah, I'm always all over the place. I'm always running all over the place.
Anytime I ask you to pull up wherever you there, man, that's love. I'm head boy, musician, artist, producer, all that. Soon to be filmmaker. It's my boy Vic, man. Anytime, anywhere I'm at, he gonna pull up. Movie set, video shoot, studio, like, you know, he a reliable source for sure. When I think about my name, it's just like, I always give people certain moments that in they show, it's like one of the heightened moments, you know what I mean? Like a trophies, like a Niggas in Paris, like a Flawless for Beyoncé, Bow Down. It's like them high energetic moments where everybody as a community is just turned up to it collectively. I'm like, now that I understand manifestation and all that, it's like, damn, like I had no choice but to end up somewhere, like, you know what I mean? With people addressing me as hit boy everywhere I go. Man, y'all remember giving Rocky the One Train beat the same day we did Goldie. We did Goldie. That was his first like major single, like, you know what I mean, when after he got signed and all that. And yeah, like I didn't think really too much of it. He just gave Rocky the beat. I don't even know if he started on it yet, but he just took it, was working on his first album, and next thing you know, he had like a collective of incredible MCs rapping on it. I'm like, that was a moment. Man, Kendrick went crazy, man, for sure. You know, it was just like everybody obviously still rooting for Kendrick, but we was really rooting for him to take it to that level. When Kendrick came on with that flow, like, I'm like, he different. Flawless, that was just me working with Beyonce on a bunch of stuff at that time. I was just sending her track after track. I got to link with her and really be in the studio with her and build. And that was just a joint. Shout out to homie Ray Real. Like he assisted on that. We worked on that together. I got it over to her, and next thing you know, it was on the album. And she put that quote at the beginning and just really brought out a whole life in it, you know. My favorite, I got, man, all of them for real. But I mean, I would say like Sorry. That was a good one. Like she sent me the joint to just kind of put my flair on it. Then I came up with the chords and just kind of some of the synthesizers and replaced some drums she had, and it just turned into a movie. I had did the beat for Thick in like 2014. I gave it to her in the same session that I gave her the Feeling Myself beat that her and Nicki ended up doing together. So I kind of was ahead of the curve on that, and she like, oh, this is perfect for right now. And that's the genius of her, like to be able to understand what's going on and the scope of things and be like, okay, this fits right now in 2022. Magic was fun, like we did it so fast, and just like for him to be like, yo, we gonna let it fly, it just like, we was like, this is what we on right now. This how we feeling, this how I'm feeling as a producer, this how he feeling as an artist, and obviously we had the momentum going, and it just was like, yo, that was serious, man. It started really back in 2012. I had did a session with Frank Ocean, and he was like, yo, I got a session with Nas tomorrow, or it was either later that day or he was like tomorrow, something like that. He was like, yo, I'm gonna play, because he had did a hook over a beat. He was like, I'm gonna play it for Nas, and he ended up playing it for him. Nas did some verses to it, but some stuff happened with the hard drive, and I lost some files, we couldn't put it out. So that was the initial link that where Nas, I guess, kind of understood who I was. And years later, shout to my homie Double, he linked up with Nas, was doing some stuff, and I just saw him on the IG story with Nas, like he was like, you know, kicking it with him in the studio or whatever. And I hit my boy, I was like, yo, man, you gotta get Nas to my stew, bro. I just felt something was gonna happen, because I had so many beats and I just was in such a creative mode. I was like, if you get him over here, it's on. And after the first day, we had knocked out like 2 or 3 joints, and I was just like, yo, I'm gonna keep pulling up, rocking with you, working. And I didn't really think too much of it, because I'm like, this Nas, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he gonna really keep pulling up, but he kept pulling up for like 3 years straight, and we just kept knocking albums out. During this time, like, you know, I'm from a different generation. I'm from the West Coast, all that. So, you know, as much as I got to see like the commercial Nas records and the stuff that everybody kind of knew, I didn't dig deep, because like, you know, not a lot of people on the West Coast, as far as my circle, was like, you know, playing a lot of Nas, you know what I mean? So I was really studying him as we was working, and I was trying to get more into the DNA of what really made him him and what people love about him. So yeah, like I was just a student the whole time working with Nas. Man, that was a good time. Shout out to homie Big Sean, man. Yeah, we was like out in London working at the Lanesborough Hotel. Like it's like a big historic hotel out there, and we was just cooking, and that was one of the joints. Actually, it was a different beat at first. It was a similar beat, but it was my homie Dom Kennedy. He had released a song called CDC over the beat that it ended up changing it to Click, but Big Sean laid it over that same beat. And I didn't, because I used to just send beats out, so I sent it to Dom, sent it to Kanye, and Dom ended up using it and putting it out before Kanye got to it. So we just basically flipped it, put the bass line in. It was like a bell originally. If you go listen to CDC, you're gonna hear like a bell sound in there. We like took that out, but you'll still hear elements where you could be like, oh damn, this is super similar. I had sent the beat, and by the time we, you know, I had been working, I'd go over to London, Kanye pulls the beat up, and as he's playing it, I'm like, damn, like the homie Dom already got a song out to it. But I, you know, Sean did the hook, and then, you know, once I told Kanye, we just ended up flipping it. Man, that felt like just like being thrown into the water, you know what I mean, as a producer, because the way he thinks wasn't the way I was thinking at the time, you know what I mean? Like when we first sat down to do a beat, it was the Liftoff beat off Watch the Throne. He had me working like around the drums that were there and like the music that Jeff Basker had laid. And I didn't understand what he was like kind of saying. He was like, yo, basically trying to tell me to mute all the drums, but I kept asking him like, yo, do you want me to keep this drum or do you want me to? He was like, yo, I just remember him being like, man, these drums are gonna be the death of me. Like Kanye just saying this is my first time sitting down with him to make a beat, and he was just overly like, you know what I mean? But it just taught me like, okay, you could take a piece, you know, from this keyboardist, take, you know, some drums from this guy, whatever, and reimagine it, rethink it. I was just a kid like that had 1,000 beats. Like, I just wanted to pull up and play my beats and Kanye rap on them. But he like, nah, we gonna really produce this stuff out, and I need you to help me come with a fresh way of thinking on these ideas I already have. One Way Flight, shout out my boy Jansport J from West Covina, man. He one of the dopest producers I know. He actually gave me that sample and had it chopped up a different way. I like did some things to it, chopped it, rearranged some stuff, and threw the drums on there. And I was working on Benny album. We was doing some stuff with him and Freddie together, Freddie Gibbs, and they pulled up. I played that beat, and it was just on. Like, it went crazy. Like I talked about manifestation. Like when we made that beat, I literally was thinking about, because Wayne was saying how he wanted to work with N. It was an interview we did. So I just was like, yo, this is the perfect beat. And my homie Chasing Cash ended up getting it to KY, who was a Wayne engineer at the time. And it turned out to be that joint. I was like, damn, like I really caught that. I didn't know that Wayne was doing like a full rock album. That was kind of one of the standouts where it had the rock elements, but was kind of still on a futuristic type of way, you know. It just turned out crazy. Eminem did a super long verse when it went in, you know what I mean? It was dope. And I was able to go to the Grammys for the first time, and I seen him perform the song. That was it.
I always ask him, I was like, yo, what you on? And he's like, oh, I'm going harder on this other shit. And I'm like, bro, you just did Beyonce, Kanye, Jay-Z, and you still going hard? I don't know, bro.
Do you have any favorites of hits?
You know what's crazy? Before I even knew about Hit Boy, right? Drake had a line where he's like, I should probably sound with Hit Boy because I got all that Hit Boy. So I asked him, I was like, yo, did you like get like mad props of that? And like, he told me like the story behind it. And I was like, okay.
That was an interesting moment.
Very interesting.
For me, I feel like getting my aesthetic right has been like it's been an uphill battle, you know what I mean? Just working with different people, trying to find myself and all that. And now that I understand myself more and what I want to look like and what the shots need to look like, I'm just getting more locked in. So it's like kind of the same way I obsess over the music. Like anybody doing something dope, I want to follow their page and be able to see what's going on. Like, and I get to see some ill stuff by following them hashtags, you know what I mean, and them pages. really, you know, understanding that working with the right people is the first thing you gotta decide on. Like, I just want to do music and art and everything that feel like real life. Like, I can't do nothing that feels cheesy, you know what I mean? And it's like, early in my career, like I'd hire a director and just let him give me the whole direction, do the video, and whatever he gave me back, I just let it rock, you know what I mean? And that's detrimental for like an artist that want to be successful, because I watched like a lot of artists come up and how they understood that they had to take the aesthetic just as serious as the music, and they became super duper successful. The same way I dig for samples and I just might have a bunch of samples sitting around, that's like the same way I look at clothes. Like I buy pieces, just like it don't have to be a full thing. Like I'll just buy a vest, a shirt, button up, whatever, and then when it's time to put it together, I just try to make it look right. When I go back sometimes and I look at when people dress me in, I'm like, yo, I gotta just be dressing myself. I feel like I'm one of the best dressed artists too, you know what I mean? Let alone producers. With my new album I'm working on, it's like I'm imagining how I wanna be presented, how I wanna dress, like what the video is gonna look like. And I think the more you dig deeper into the artistry, you kind of put them all together and try to make it one thing. The more like I develop myself, I'm like, oh, that's just like him changing aesthetics, you know, and really pushing it to the max. I've been working with like business managers since about 06, 07, and just like had to learn about taxes. I just knew people in the hood getting taxes back. I didn't know that we actually had to pay these people hundreds of thousands or, you know, millions of dollars. And it's like, you know, that's one thing that I had to adapt to and understand. Like, you know, my accountant ain't just swiping money from me. He's actually paying some people that I gotta pay regardless, you know what I mean? I didn't really have a grip of, you know, finances at all, like just not being from a background where people had a lot of money. So I had to just kind of bump my head and just kind of dive in. I'm the type of person that's in my career, I'm gonna invest my bread. Like I'm gonna, like, whether it's videos, styling, it's music equipment, paying engineers, it's like paying people what they deserve, you know. I'm just like, I'm a real investor, and that's something where it's like, okay, even if I get low on bread, I know I'm gonna get it back. That was one thing that just like scared me early, like, okay, I spent so much on doing all these things and how I'm gonna get it back. But you know, once you're in that groove and you're doing the right things, you don't always make the money back. That's how I feel. Invest in yourself, go all out, man. Like me, I went for broke multiple times, you know what I mean? I was just with my homie James Fauntleroy, and he was just saying how he's on his 9th time being rich, and I was laughing because I'm like, that makes sense, man. Like you spend a lot of money, you spend a lot of effort making this happen, and you know, if you're on that right path, like you just somehow just always align and just like it just end up where it's supposed to be. Man, at this point, it's like I never really thought about it from the jump. Like I would have never expected to win a Grammy with Kanye and Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Like that's unbelievable already. So it's like you gotta just let them moments happen. How am I a part of this? You know, type moment. Racks in the Middle with Nip, that cracked it off for sure. You know, even just having a Roddy Ricch in the mix of that, he was like the newest artist at the time, and everybody was excited about everything that he was doing. So it just worked, you know what I mean? It just worked like with the veteran wisdom of a Nip, my, you know, production perspective, and then Roddy just coming with like, he humming on the track. Like that's like just a wavy, fresh little new thing that he did. When we was working on Racks in the Middle, one of my homies got out of prison and came to the store, and Nip like bought hella bottles, and then when the bottles got there, he just dipped. Like he ain't even drink none of the liquor. He just was like the type to look out and was like, man, that's cool, you know what I mean? Cause he know that me and bro been locked in, and just for him to be coming home now special to us. So he always looked out. I mean, it's a new day now. I feel like you can promote yourself way easier. Like, I mean, I would start getting in around MySpace, which was opened up that door for us to be seen and be heard and share the music and stuff. But yeah, just like be patient for sure when you think like, oh, I gotta jump into the industry. I need to sign to this person or do this. Like, you don't gotta do none of that. You really need to connect with the artist. Like, be patient, connect with the artist, and, you know, just believe in yourself. Like, just know that people will try to back you into a corner like, oh, if you don't sign with me, you're not gonna make it, and this and that. Like, I wish I would have never listened to nobody on that, like, versus just believing in myself, sticking to the music, connecting with the artist, and then, you know, letting it be what it is. Man, yeah, he already made his first song for his 4th birthday called JT4, just turned 4. Yeah, he owned it, man. It's crazy. Like, he already got like a melodic sense. Like, he'll be in the backseat. Every morning we go to school, he makes me play NSYNC Bye 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 on repeat. Like, he know the words, like he learning the choreography. It's like, this is like, music is just in him, you know? Just a direct reflection of like me not having my pops there. I got him in everywhere I'm at, interviews, sessions, you know, whether I'm recording, I'll have him on my lap, I'm recording Nas, he like, Dad, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta stop a whole Nas session to go take my son to the bathroom, you know what I mean? That's my level of dedication to it.
Go like this.
Hello.
Man, I think it's ill, man, because I mean, we're using the music to, like, you know, create a bond and really, like, using it as therapy for real. Like, we in a session, like, I'm getting to learn more about my background, like my dad talking about his dad and my grandma, and just, like, really understanding who I am even more. You know, it'd be ill, man, just, like, they seeing their relationship, it just always make me think about how our relationship would have been, because he went away when my son was, well, when I was 3 years old, and, you know, got out when my son was 3 years old. So, you know, just seeing that is like, wow, like, this is how it would have been, like, just like that crazy energy. Everything, the generational wealth is like, you know, just looking at my son, it's like, I just want to make sure he's straight at all times. So I definitely want to go hard to leave him something that he could build off. When people listen to my music, like, he was dedicated. You could just tell that when you go back and listen to certain artists and hear their catalog, and it might be albums that certain people release that you might not even heard, but once you catch wind, it's like, oh, this person was just locked in regardless of the industry politics, because you know how it go. Like, sometimes great albums don't get that promotion, so it's like, it's a lot of still undiscovered great music out there. Man, you know, just that I'm a solid individual, like, you know, I always look out for people, like, they know I'm family oriented. Just a real one again, man, for sure. 2025 look like a software update for Hit Boy, man, for sure. I'm taking it to the moon with every level of this shit. Like, I'm just studying, like, I'm really, like, I'm always a student, but lately I just been, like, I gotta take it there and utilize everything that's out there to make me my best self.